Hi, my creative artists. I am so excited to get started on this project with you. We are going to be trying our hand at weaving again. You guys have already tried weaving with our paper strips, but now we are going to be creating a little swatch of cloth using yarn, doing our weaving pattern again. Let's take a look at our materials that we're using today. In your material box, you will have a popsicle stick loom. On your loom is yarn that is strung into what we call the waft. Everybody repeat after me and say waft. Our waft has a long string attached at the end. We are actually going to begin our weaving using this extra string. Our weaving pattern, again, is going under, over, under, over. So my string is starting off on the back, so I'm not going to wrap it around my popsicle stick loom. I am actually going to start right at the strings. The only purpose of the popsicle sticks is to hold our waft in place. Now that the waft is already in place for you, we don't need to use the popsicle sticks again. So I am first going to go over this string, then under this string, over this string, under this string, over, under. See how my yarn is now combing itself through the different strands of my waft. I am doing a pattern of over, under, over, under. I like to work in the center of my loom, down the middle, because it's easier for me to use my other left hand to manipulate my waft strings to allow my weaving thread to maneuver through to the other side. Okay, now I have my first string woven over, under, over, under, over, under, all the way to the other side. Now I'm going to pull my string tight. It's automatically going to nuzzle itself down towards the bottom. Now, the last string that I did was under. So what should I do in order to turn my string around to go the opposite direction? I'm going to go ahead and go over that same string and under the following one. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I am turning myself around. So I previously had gone under this string. Now I'm flipping over that string to then jump under the second string again. Okay, boys and girls, I have done my second line of my weaving, and now I need to do something called combing. I need to move this line of thread that I just wove through down towards the bottom. But as I'm moving it, take a look at how my second line of string is the opposite of the first line. So everywhere that I had gone under, I then went over. And where I'd gone over, I then went under. So the second line is the opposite. It should never be the same as the previous line. Okay, let's do the same thing we had done before. And I just went under this string. So now when I turn myself around, I'm going to go over it and under the string after it. Take a look at that, boys and girls. I had gone under it, now I turned myself around, and now I'm going back the other direction. So that last bit should be a loop around your string. And I just went under this string. So now when I turn myself around, I'm going to go over it and under the string after it. Take a look at that, boys and girls. I had gone under it, now I turned myself around, and now I'm going back the other direction. So that last bit should be a loop around your string. All right, I've gotten to the end of this line. Again, I need to comb down my yarn so that it is nice and tight and snuggled together at the bottom. But, boys and girls, I do not want you to pull so tight. If you pull so tight, this is what happens. Your strings start to get bunched up together, and then you really can't see them all. You need to pull gently when you pull your thread through. We don't want our strings to get too bunched up. Just enough to pull out the slack on your string. The slack means the part that is hanging loose at the end. Now, boys and girls, I have about this much thread left on my yarn that I'm using to weave. And I want to stop right now because eventually I'm going to run out of thread. So I need to add another piece. What I will do is take another piece, most likely a different color, and I am going to tie these two pieces together, one end to one end. Let's take a look at how we do this. In order to tie these two pieces of string together, I need to make an X with my strings, and then take the loose ends, the ends that are together, and I am going to tuck them under and into my circle, pulling those pieces out. Then I have a loop that I can then pull tight. Let me show you that again. On my table, it's easiest for me to match up my two ends together, then take those two ends and create my loop with an X. See my X? These looped pieces need to travel underneath and through the circle until I can pull them all the way through and pull tight. Tight, tight, tight. We are not going to be snipping these off. We are going to leave these on because we do not want our threads to come apart. Now I have very strongly tied threads together. And instead of weaving with my yellow end, I am now going to start weaving with my turquoise end. Let's continue with our weaving pattern. I started this last string going under, so now I need to go over and jump down. Pulling it through. Remember, boys and girls, do not pull this tight. Nice and loose. Boys and girls, at the end of class, what I'd like you to do is it's okay if you have an extra piece of string like this, no problem. It will not unravel, but we need to make sure that your name is on your piece of beautiful weaving. So I'm going to pass out to you some shorter pieces of scrap string that I would like for you to thread through the hole on these name cards. Write your name, class, and number, and we are going to poke one end of the string around the frame of our loom and tie a double knot. Boys and girls, we should remember how to tie a knot, but here is a reminder. Make an X, take the string that's underneath, loop it through the circle and out, and pull. You need to do that again. Make an X, take the string that's underneath, put it through the circle, and pull. Let me demonstrate that for you one more time. When you're making a double knot, take and make an X with your strings. Take the string that's underneath, put it into the circle, and then reach under the circle to grab it on the other side and pull. You need to do this again. Make an X, the string that is underneath goes into the circle, reach underneath that circle to grab the string and pull to make your double knot. So at the end you should have your name card attached with your name, class, and number, double knot tied onto your loom. I will collect these in the basket on the drying rack. Okay, boys and girls, let's go ahead and get our name tags tied on.